And that's where we have to stand on our own 2 feet. God is there for us, and God's going to get us through the hard times. And sometimes when you call on God to help you, he's not going to show up in a spaceship and say, I am the Lord, and I am going to help you through it. No, he'll put it in your mind and in your heart what to do to get through this. He'll work through other people that will come into your presence and say, hey, I'm here to help. And we can do this together. We can stand on our own. God wants us to be independent. God wants us to be responsible on our own. God doesn't want to have to come down here and do every little thing for us. God wants us to have the wherewithal to do these things for ourselves, to think about what needs to be done. And he gave us a mind to be able to calculate and plan these things and then come up with answers and solutions. You know, we aren't babies anymore. You know, we aren't children anymore. Even though we have children, we aren't children on this planet. We have learned and gained lots of wisdom. And the problem is sometimes we forget what we learned. Forgotten knowledge. Sometimes we forget what we saw. We hear it in the Bible all the time. When the children of Israel were rescued from Egypt, they forgot the works of the Lord. They got out there in the desert and started acting stupid, like none of that stuff ever happened. And they were there. They saw it. You can see it in America when things happen. Politicians, do things, or somebody does something bad, and it's all over the news, and everybody's talking about it. And if they quit talking about it, we quit thinking about it. And if we quit thinking about it, we forget it ever happened. That's why right now, as we speak, there are people in this country that are trying to erase the history of this country. They're trying to erase how this country came about. They're trying to make disappear the sacrifices that were made for the achievement of where we're at now. Who built this country? How did they get here? Who brought them here? How did they treat them when they got here? What did they do when that part was over? What are they doing now? How did all this come about? See, if they can make us, the future children, not understand how this all came about, then they can't understand what's going on, and they certainly won't know what's going to happen next. And that's where the wickedness in the high places of authority will have a distinct advantage over the future generations, because they don't know the truth. And right now, while we know the truth, we have to spread the truth. We have to do the work. All of us aren't cut out to get out there and be a police officer, or be a judge, or be a lawyer, or be working in social services, or be working in the court system, or be a teacher, or be a doctor, or anything that's going to help the infrastructure of not only America, but the whole world, the salvation of the whole. All of us aren't geared to do that. All of us can't preach. All of us can't lead. But the ones that feel like they're not equipped, or the ones that feel like they're not able to, some of them will be inspired by what we do as moving forward. And when they get that inspiration, they'll say, I can help. I can do that. Those are the people that are getting where they fit in. But even if you aren't getting in where you fit in, we have to support each other. We have to recognize who's moving forward and who's walking with God. And I tell you, in society, you say, who's walking with God? You hear the oohs and the oh, he's holy, he's the holy one, he's the righteous one, he's walking with the upright. They forgot that when the people came over here to start this country in the first place, even though they ended up stealing the land, or that's a whole nother story, but they came over saying, in God we trust. They came over because they felt like God sent them to a promised land, a land of milk and honey. And they were thanking God for the opportunity to come here. They even said, when they made the country, one nation under God, indivisible. Well, you can tell that wasn't their intention, because it's not one nation under God, and God's not even in the equation anymore. And it's definitely not indivisible, because they made sure that they set it up with a division so that there always can be chaos. There always can be confusion. There always can be discord. There always can be a separation. And as long as we're separated, we'll never get anything done. We'll never move forward. That's what the devil wants. And he provides all these distractions that we have throughout the day and the night. There's a whole life at night. It used to be, if you look at these biblical times, it used to be a time where when the sun went down, everybody went to bed. And they woke up the next day. Wasn't nothing going on at night. Wasn't no all-night supermarket and no nightclubs and all that stuff happened at night. You went to bed when the sun went down. You better not get caught out after dark. But it ain't like that no more. There's a whole life at night. And we can see where we read in the Bible that the darkness and the light is the same to God. The moon and the sun, all that's the same to God. And so we live in a world that operates 24 hours a day. And it seems like when the sun goes down, that they have songs about it. The freaks come out at night. The freaks come out. And in the horror movies and the scary movies, everything happens when the sun goes down, when it's dark outside. Things go bump in the night. And that's when we're scared because our vision is a little less and we can't really see what's going on. And that's how our vision works. Our vision works because we see things that reflect light, and we see the light bouncing off the object. And if there's no light, there's nothing to bounce off the object, and we can't see what we're looking at unless we see a shadow. And even if we see a shadow, that's some kind of light bouncing off of that object to create that shadow. And so we don't see things that happen at night, and that scares us. But we have to open our eyes, and we have to look at everything. We have to make sure that nothing's creeping up behind us and grabbing our children. Because like I said, the children are the future. And we have to teach them diligently about what we're supposed to do and which way we're supposed to go and how we're supposed to go about it.